Good morning. How are you guys? Happy Thursday. I know you're doing these bi-weekly, but I actually decided to come on in and do another one this week. So today's topic, we are talking about how really to stop dating your food. And if you resonated with yesterday's blog, then you know what I'm talking about. So I just wanted to welcome any new members into our Done with Dieting community. Hello, Valerie. Good morning, girl. So whether it's, your early morning, your mid-afternoon, or whatever time of day for you, I'm so happy to be here with you. When you come to the call, please come and say who you are and why you're here. I know this was a bit last minute. We just sent this out yesterday. So, and the reason being was really this. I always notice when I have a lot of calls, and especially when I have a new private client come on and they're struggling with something, I usually know that that's an indication that that's something that the community would really benefit from learning about. And so usually when that does show up for me in my scope as a coaching practice, I always know that that's actually something that I need to be speaking about, which is why it's being illuminated to me. And one of the primary things that I was really getting was this concept of, I'm really in this relationship with food. And we did this. Sorry guys, never know who's gonna call in during these things. We did a practice in her first week with me, just around awareness, around her thoughts with food. And if anybody else is resonating with this, she actually didn't realize how often she thought about food and how much she wanted food, and still we really did the practice of really recognize when you're truly hungry, when you're wanting food from hunger versus from any type of emotion. From boredom, from procrastination, from loneliness, from happiness. And when you're wanting that as kind of your partner to, commiserate with, talk to, spend time with, and I know that sounds strange referring to food that way. To my clients, it doesn't sound strange, but to anybody new to me, it might. And what I want you to recognize is that food definitely takes on human form in an emotional space within our bodies. And when we learn to turn to food at a young age, then we will continue that as an adult. And it will be something that actually becomes almost like a best friend to us. So the idea of breaking up with food and ending that relationship, this is why you can diet, but you'll end up sabotaging yourself. You can lose weight, but you'll gain it back again. Because the bottom line is, on a subconscious level, you don't actually really want to let go of food. It's serving too great of a purpose for you. And it's filling too many of the gaps that exist in your life. It's filling too many. So when your go-to is always to turn to food, then you always have something that's giving you back what it is you feel you're lacking, right? But then you find that it hurts you in the long run, that it's actually not what you want, right? However, when you are filling those gaps with food, just like we can fill loneliness with television. I have another client and was saying, now I've noticed that I go to bed and I bring my iPad and she wants love. And I said, you've got to take the iPad out of your room because you're energetically blocking yourself, because you're giving yourself what you need in that moment from an electronic device. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a facade for you. It's actually going to be something, like almost a mirage in a way, where you think it's doing something for you and then you don't actually miss having a partner. You don't miss love in your life. You don't feel the loneliness at night. So although it seems like a good thing, what's happening is then you're becoming dependent and you're actually creating a relationship with something that's actually not going to love you back, right? So that is what we're going to talk about today. So for anybody that's new to me, I am Melissa Catherine. I am the founder and the creator of Done with Dieting. This is my group. And I'm so absolutely happy to have you here. This group was created to offer a safe space and a safe space for you to really share, to get support, to post about challenges, and to post about your celebrations, things that you're learning as being a part of this community. I have women that email all the time saying that they reached their goal weight and are done with dieting from being a part of this group alone. So I really, really want you to know that. And Sherry, it is so good to see you, love. So while also what I want you to know, just I'm a big advocate for letting people know my education and background, because I know there's so many people doing wonderful things in this world, and they have the full education to share on all of that. And there's also, I just feel it's important for you to know. So if you're ever asking me questions and you're like, why does she know this or that? I have a background. I am a nutritionist. I am certified life coach. I specialize in emotional eating and disordered eating. I myself battled with emotional eating, eating disorders and body image issues. I was a fitness trainer and a fitness competitor. I'm a hypnotherapist. I was recently certified. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, intuitive. A body intuitive is what I really work with a lot with my clients, and bringing them into actually trusting themselves and trusting their body and listening to the guidance all around them as well as within themselves. And I recently got certified in breath work. So I'm a forever learner, and I like to bring all of these modalities into the work that I do to support you in fully being done with dieting, to thriving in life in a body that you love. So let's get started. By the way, I know everybody always asks me, what am I drinking? What am I doing? So I wanted to share with you guys, and I like to give you guys things that I don't share everywhere. Here's my cup of Joe this morning. It's pumpkin coffee because it's so good. But what I do is I add in a dash of cayenne pepper and cinnamon. And so a few of my favorites, this is coconut milk creamer by So Delicious. It's unsweetened, and I just do like 2 tablespoons of this. Oh my God, okay, this gets a little damaged because I bring it in my purse. This is stevia by Sweet Leaf, and I'll do a few drops of that because I'm a sweet girl. I like sweet. Kinlan cinnamon. This cinnamon speeds your metabolism 30 times the amount. This cinnamon's actually more of a superfood and more beneficial to your metabolism. And it's super tasty and actually has more of a distinct flavor. So for all my cinnamon lovers, you can get this. For all my cinnamon haters, you're not gonna like it. And then I did a teaspoon of that. And then I do the Golden Milk Super Blend. So if you guys can't see this, it's by, I'm gonna try to bring it, okay, the light is like crazy town. I'm gonna bring it back. Do we see that? So this is the Golden Milk Super Blend, and I just did a teaspoon of this, and it's got turmeric, maca, goji berry, cinnamon, stevia, ginger, boswellia, cardamom, and black pepper. And so it's just a tasty mix with little pumpkin spice coffee. So that's my coffee of the day, and it's super tasty, and I love it. Everybody share your favorite ways to doctor up your beverages below. That's one of like my favorite things, because people go out and we get a little crazy with spending $6 here and $8 on these drinks that end up are filled with syrups, and it's crazy. And I keep saying crazy because I can't tell you the number of times I've gone out with clients and I'll go order a coffee, whatever, and they'll get something and you would think that it doesn't have sugar, and I always explain to them, here's why, here's how you want to order coffee, and here's why that just ended up being about 20 to 30 grams of sugar and 300 calories that you weren't expecting in your day. Because oftentimes, so you always want to ask when you're ordering coffee out, by the way, this is just a little tip, and I know this is sidebar from what we were talking about, but I'm going to come back to that. So you always want to say, what do you put in that? What type of coffee, what type of, almond milk, coconut milk. If you are really in a place of understanding that your body doesn't do well on a lot of sugar, really pay attention to that. I know that in one of the, I know you guys know that I'm a cancer survivor, if you will. And one of the things when my diet was super, super restricted, I remember I went in and the like almond milk at the place had like 20 grams of sugar. And this is like a super clean place in Encinitas, California, where I live. And I was really surprised. And I'm like, wow, you guys use this here? This is like pure crap. I would never tell anybody to buy this. And it was, yeah, so always know that. And then I said, so what is the vanilla just the flavor of the coffee, or are you? And then they were putting vanilla syrup. They were using this almond milk with like all this sugar in it, and it's just one of those things. So be aware. So if you're really wanting to understand what's working well for your body, notice, because after you have one of those souped up coffee drinks, you're either, it has a lot of sugar in it, you're gonna want a lot more sugar. Trust me. And your mind will keep thinking about it, and you'll notice that you're constantly wanting to go get one of those coffee drinks. So if you find yourself wanting to go back to the same Starbucks or coffee place, there's a reason. So I'm a big fan of doctoring things up at home and knowing what you're putting into your body to understand how to get your body to really thrive and give you the results that you want, right? Everything we put into our body has an impact in how we look and how we feel, right? And in the healing process, how we age, everything. And I was sharing this with my Weight Loss for Life group last night. I'm like, I don't know about you, but I'm planning on aging backwards as much as humanly possible. So stick with me and I'll show you everything that I do. So when we're talking about, let's get into dating, really the concept of dating food and what that looks like. So there were a lot of questions that I asked, and for any of you that didn't see the blog, questions to really know if you're in a relationship with food. Do you look more forward to going home and eating alone and watching a movie or putting on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is you do than you do going out, being with friends, even wanting your kids and your husband to go to bed so you can eat alone? Do you find ways to sneak food? Do you often do you eat in isolation, and the idea of ever letting somebody know what you were eating and the amount that you were eating would be embarrassing? Do you find that all of your social engagements, everything, when you look at your calendar, any fun, any pleasure has food involved? Do you look at your life, and when I say to you, when was the last time that you really had fun? When was the last time you laughed your ass off? When was the last time you really felt lit up by life? And you're sitting there and you're racking your brain, and you know that generally when you're looking at your week, the pleasure that you find in your week, the fun that comes from your week, really involves when you get to eat, and generally it's you eating alone. Those are signs that you're really truly in a relationship with food. And the last one that I would say is when you're really eating past full. When you are appreciating that numbness, that overly full feeling, although you hate it, it's something that you keep eating and keep eating and keep eating until you get there. So here's the thing. I always cross my legs when I'm on these things. I can only sit for so long. In order to get out of being in a relationship with food, you have to understand that you're in one. And in order to understand that you're in one, there needs to be a lot of compassion, because it's going to stun you at first. Like I said, when I had my client do that exercise this past week, and she's a new client, and we went through, and I said, this is just about awareness right now. Just need you to understand how often, just want you to journal, how often are we thinking about food? How often are you wanting to go to food, especially when you're not hungry? And, of course, she was astounded to find that, one, she's very rarely actually hungry. And two, she thought about food all the time. Even to the point where she was out on Saturday night and she was at a party having a good time and was thinking about when she could go home and what would still be a reasonable time to leave to be able to eat without it being too odd. Right? Like she was bartering with herself, like if I leave and I get home by 11, I could still eat something, right? She was still wanting that time, right? She was still seeing, so notice when you're out and how often you're thinking about, well, I could still leave and go get, or maybe I could leave and I'll get ice cream on my way home, or I could leave and I could do this, right? So pay attention to that. The first step in order to being done with dating food is one, awareness. You want to track how often you're thinking about it, right? Jen, what's up, girl? Nikki, what's up? Terry, everybody. Oh, I love seeing you guys. So first and foremost, you want to be in awareness. Second, you want to track how often you're thinking about food versus when you're actually hungry, and how often the thoughts are coming in. To take it a step further, then you want to ask yourself, the question is, what is it that I'm really needing in this moment right now? What is it that I desire to feel right now? And here's an incredible question to write down next. If I truly had blank, I wouldn't want the food. If I truly had blank, I wouldn't want the food. So step one is awareness. Step two is journaling and tracking and recognizing how often you're wanting food versus your actual hunger. And you're going to find that you're having thoughts probably every hour, multiple times an hour, truly, depending on where you're at with this. Step three is asking yourself, what is it that I want to feel? What is it that I'm needing in that moment? I just don't feel like doing the work that's in front of me. I honestly just need a break from my life. That's often what I hear from women. Need a break. I need to just not be responsible for something. I deserve this. Right? What is it that you're wanting to feel? What is it that you're needing? And then the last and most telling will be, if I had blank, I wouldn't need the food. If I had love, if I had a boyfriend at home, if I had my ideal body, if I had a job that I loved, if I fully felt that I was doing what I was meant to be doing, if I felt happy, if I had something fun to do right now, I wouldn't be eating. If I had sex right now, I wouldn't be eating. What is it for you? Okay? That's going to be the most important thing. From this, the next is to really meet yourself with compassion. This is a completely new space for you to be in, and a new space of understanding within yourself. And unless you have compassion, then you will feel really frustrated and disappointed and almost sad at the awareness that you have. Compassion, because here's what I want you to get. You needed food, and it served a wonderful purpose for you. It is and was your safety blanket. It was there for you when you weren't able to fully be there for yourself, and when you weren't able to express what it was you really needed, or what really occurred, or what happened that made you feel sad or disappointed or frustrated or mad. And now it's about shifting that relationship, desensitizing your emotional attachment to food. This isn't about taking the food away. This isn't, I'm never going to eat that again. I don't have that. It's actually going to be taking the emotion out. So when you eat a brownie, it's just a brownie. You have 3 slices of pizza, who cares? It's pizza. It's not attached to your self-worth. It doesn't mean anything. So what is the difference between having compassion and not taking responsibility? They're 2 completely different things, Edwina. So great question. Compassion is, I meet myself with love. Responsibility is, I'm honest about what I just did, and I'm gonna be accountable for that. I recognize that there are repercussions to what I just did, and I fully understand them. I'm going to love myself through this process. And when you really, really get further in this process, you choose and do actions from a place of love, not from a place of lack. There is a really big difference. right now, right? And so, and this isn't just Edwina, I'm just addressing the group. If you're sitting there and you're struggling and you're noticing that you are, wow, I really am in a relationship with food, and you're sitting there going, it's serving a huge purpose in my life, and the idea of ending this relationship scares the shit out of me, and as much as I can say I want it, my actions aren't aligned. Okay, fine. So now it's about, okay, I love that. I'm so proud of how far I've come. I'm so proud of this awareness. And I love me because I know that this isn't easy. This is going to be like breaking up with a best friend. This is going to be breaking up with a partner, a soulmate, a lover, right? And it's not going to be easy. And there's going to be times I want to go back. And there's going to be times that I might want to cheat. And there's going to be times, right, that I doubt this decision. But I know it's like being in an abusive relationship, saying to yourself, I know that I deserve this. And it's not easy, and my heart might hurt at first, and I might have to ask myself some questions that are hard, and I might have to sit in the resistance and sit in some fear, right? And my women in Weight Loss for Life know this, right? And I'm there with them every step of the way, right? And this is, and that's why we have such an amazing community as you go through this process, because once you go through this process and you get on the other side, you are free. And that is priceless, right? And then your food is food. But what you have to do in this process is recognize that when you truly love you, you don't want to hurt you. And when you love you, and you only want to do what's good for you, it's you're not going to want you might still want the food, but you have to take that strong stand with yourself and say, I love me too much. I won't put myself through that again. I won't put myself through another binge. It's too painful. I won't do that to myself because that's hurting me too much. And although feels hard right now, and although this is uncomfortable, I just need to sit through this. It's just like that first week back at the gym. The first few mornings you get up, you're like, oh my God. And then, but then you feel so proud after your workout's done. And then by the second week, your body's like, game on. I'm in it to win it. You have to push through the initial resistance. And the initial resistance, yeah, your mind's going to fight you every step of the way because your mind only knows what you've taught it. And you've taught it to stay safe. And you've taught it to eat when you're uncomfortable. And you've taught it to escape and turn to food. And you've taught it that food is there for you and you don't need to feel the uncomfortable feelings. And then the action step that you take is you go for instant gratification and escape. You go right to food. In order to have a different outcome, you need to take a different course of action. And that course of action needs to be you standing in your power and your strength and your love for you in that moment and getting out, right? As I shared with you guys, that 5-second rule. I love Mel Robbins in that. You count yourself backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You move directions. You don't keep standing in front of the fridge. You don't have all the junk food in your home. You don't stop at the grocery store. You bypass it no matter how bad you want to go and drive there. You keep going forward. That every time you do that, you strengthen that belief within yourself. You strengthen your love for you. You strengthen that piece of you and you teach your mind a new way of being. And then the next time that your mind goes, hey, we're going to go grab the food, your mind gets confused and it goes, no, we don't grab the food though anymore. No, we get out of this situation. Go call a friend. Go for a run. Get out of the house. Go shopping. Go do whatever else, right? And then your mind's going, wait, so which one do we do? And then after you do it so many times, your mind knows that that's what you do. I was telling my Weight Loss for Life group, I was always a night owl. I was never a workout in the morning person. Now it is so ingrained in me. I don't care what's happened to me in my life. I will always come back to strength, to movement in my body. It is a godsend. I will never let that go. It is a gift to me every morning without fail. It is my time for me and no one can infringe on my time, right? This is why you'll always see me. I post on social media after my workouts. Maybe I'll snap a picture on my way in, but that's all we're doing. Because where am I supposed to? I want to be in there and I want my mind involved. Is this all making sense? Right? So these are the initial steps into truly really ending your relationship with food. Because that's what it is. It's an ending of a relationship. And I've shared with you guys openly. I divorced food and then had an affair. We got back together. It was awful. It was like I cheated. It didn't go well, right? And I was like, oh my God. And it is, and I equate it to an abusive relationship because the self-berating and how awful you feel about yourself and what you allow yourself, the breakdown that you allow yourself to have internally, the shame, the guilt, the self-berating, right? It ends up being like an abusive relationship. It's just the thing is you're having it with you and with the substance. This is why I say find things in life that love you back. Because iPads, Netflix, right? Even as much as I'm so grateful for Facebook and social media and the fact that I can connect with all of you, if you notice that that's getting in the way of you moving forward with you, and that it's actually keeping you up late at night and it's sacrificing you getting up for your workouts and the comparison games coming up and you're feeling bad about yourself and it's causing you to turn to food, right? All of these modalities, the Facebook facelift, as I call it, when everybody puts their best foot forward and never actually tells you what's really going on in their lives and everything's photoshopped and it's, oh my God, everything's beautiful. Yeah, look at me, look at what I did. Yes, so, don't get me wrong. I love people celebrating each other. I love people celebrating themselves. But there's a lot that goes on that can make it challenging, especially when you're building up your own confidence, your own sense of being. And especially at those times when maybe you didn't show up as powerfully for yourself as you want to. And then you're scrolling through and you're like, I feel like I just got hit in the face 1, 2, 10 times. It's going to make you turn to food. Surround yourself with the things that fuel you towards what it is that you truly want. And start to eradicate the things, the people, the clutter in your life that's taking you from the joy that you want. I call all of those joy stealers, right? And it's really important to understand these because all of these faculties, this is why in our group, Weight Loss for Life, and everything that I teach with my private clients in my group, it is holistic, meaning we look at your life as a pie. There are all pieces of the pie. You cannot truly be free from food and lose weight for life when you are only looking at calories in, calories out, and your exercise. You've all done that. And you're in this group because it hasn't worked, right? It didn't work for me, doesn't work for anybody. That's why it's a billion-dollar industry, right? Anybody can follow a plan for 30, 60, 90 days. What do you do for the rest of your life? What do you do when life throws you curveballs? What do you do when hardships happen? You want to learn the facets and actual ways to truly not be dependent upon food, but learn how to be dependent and trust in yourself and in something greater than you, right? Faith. So when we look at your life as a pie, there's all these beautiful pieces. There's money, there's love, there's sensuality, sexuality, right? Intimacy. There's your spirituality. There's friendships, family, right? Your career, all of these pieces. And if these pieces of the pie aren't full, then you're going to keep turning to food because it's filling all of those gaps. We fill up the pieces of the pie, then the more fun you have, the less you want food. I promise you that. The most fun you've had in your life has not involved food. Food's been an afterthought, right? So I really want you to get that the more you love you, the more you love your life, the less you'll want the food. And we start doing that by start living, right? That's why I told you guys I have the 30 Days of Yes challenge coming up, right? In October, 30 Days of Yes. And this is a lot of what I'm going to be doing at the Done with Dieting live event on November 8th, right? In San Diego. Anybody that is here, you guys, I would love to have you there. And we're going to have a special just for Done with Dieting members. that we're gonna offer you guys for tickets. But I just want you to know, I mean, this is the stuff that we're doing. You're gonna get spot coaching. There's a lot of experiential exercises that you're gonna do. And this is what's gonna jumpstart you on your way to truly being free from food. This is what's you're gonna have more ahas and understandings around what's been going on for you, why you've been stuck, where you've been blocked, and more breakthroughs, feeling more just completely free and light. And when you leave, you will have an action plan on how to get there. It's going to be incredible. I'm so excited. And we're going to be doing a lot of other fun things because anybody that's coached with me knows how I do this. So it's super fun. I like to keep a lot of surprises. And for all my perfectionist controllers, it's better for you to come without knowing what to expect and to actually just come and be present in the moment. So I would love for you to be there. We're going to be posting more about that, and you'll have your chance to get tickets. And we have an awesome opportunity for you guys also to bring a friend for free. So we'll be sharing all of this, but that's the Done with Dieting live event, November 8th. Let me know if you have any questions. You can also email support@MelissaCatherine with any of those questions. But I'm also doing the 30 Days of Yes challenge on Instagram. And this is not like, this is simply, I'm doing it for myself. And I wanted to invite in my ladies, that's you, to see if you want to do it with me. And what it's really about is it's about 30 days of yes to living, yes to things that scare you. And each day just doing something that scares you, that gets you out of your comfort zone, or it's just something you've been wanting to do that you haven't been doing. Maybe it's being in the front of a workout class. Maybe it's trying that dance class you've been wanting to do. Maybe it's going for a hike that you've been freaked out about. Maybe it's just going for a long walk. Maybe it's calling a friend that you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe it's forgiving somebody that it's just always been on your mind. Whatever it is, make a list, 31 days of things you're gonna do, and we're gonna do it together. And so we'll be sending out more information about that. Let me know if you're excited about that. And I just hope that this really, really spoke to you today. Understand that there is nothing that can stop you from being free from food, and that truly weight is just weight. It does not define you. It is not your worth. You define your worth. And all you need to do is put one foot in front of the other, start with awareness, combine it with compassion, right? And then take action. I love you all so much. Thank you tremendously for being here. I can't wait to be with you next Thursday for our Done with Dieting Live. Always let me know things that you have questions about, anything that you'd like me to talk about. And let me know if you're in for the 30 Days of Yes. And we'll be posting more about the Done with Dieting Live event. And I would absolutely love to meet you all in person and to support you further in this journey to truly being done with dieting so you can thrive in life in a body that you love. Have a great day, guys.